altogether.
Correct. So in terms of like preparation, I think we'll talk about it in three different stages. The first stage is
Okay.
essentially matter consumption. I think the links will be attached in the video description, and we studied a lot of matter in order to know about different fields. So there are a lot of YouTube
Hello, guys. Welcome again to our third podcast, third part. So again, we have with us Ms. Tiyasha Mitra, final undergraduate from IIT Kharagpur. And the previous part, she had her experience with the BCG and McKinsey and Company. And in this part, we'll be discussing her journey and how to prepare for case interviews and how to go into consulting. So hello, Tiyasha. Welcome again.
Hi, Jalaj.
Okay. So like, why did you choose to consult? What was your reasoning to go for this path?
Right. So I think this is like something, this motivation itself is going to be something very personal to every individual. I think for me, my personal motivation was that I love to explore things, and that has been something which has been constant right from my childhood. Let's say, even when I wanted to take mathematics and wanted to do engineering, I still studied bio simply because I enjoyed it.
Was
So that's just something I've always been keen on exploring. And that has played a role even throughout my college years. So during my college years, I explored debating. And debating was a major reason where I explored like different fields. So, for example, I was interested in stuff like international relations while also being interested in history or being interested in politics or interested in science and maths and art. And all of these things I was equally interested in and wanted to explore. I think as consulting as a career would give me an opportunity to learn about a lot of different fields and then see what I wanted to do or what I could do best. But furthermore, I think my internship experiences, let's say at Procter and Gamble or at Indian School of Business or at C-STEP, all of these also inculcated in me the love for problem solving and having like a creative approach to problem solving. And I think that was one of the
great.
major reasons why I wanted to do consulting. But also a third reason was I was not really interested in coding. I cannot do coding and I've never been interested in it. So I knew that that software life was something I did not want to do. And that was the first thing which made me look into what other career options do I even have, since there is a large hype for coding everywhere on campus. And
Yeah.
that made me like start looking at these different fields, and all of these motivations tied down to consulting becoming the best career option for me.
Okay. Coming to this thing, like you have decided you are going for the consulting. So how did you prepare yourself for the consulting career, and how did you prepare for cases and all those things? What was your process altogether?
Right. So, in terms of like preparation, I think we'll talk about it in three different stages. The first stage is
Okay.
essentially matter consumption. I think the links will be attached in the video description, and we studied a lot of matter in order to know about different fields. So, there are a lot of YouTube video channels, a lot of newspapers, a lot of like newsletters like CFR Daily, and all of these channels like Polymatter, etc., which give you the general insights, and these general insights need to be continuous. Also websites like websites of these firms like McKinsey's Insights or BCG's Insights, all of these have a lot of industrial outlooks, and these are things which we need to study for just to have a broad idea of what's going on around the world. And that is something which needs to start right from the beginning and not just during like the 1 or 2 months of case preparation. And that is something which I would recommend you start early on, and this is something which even I did like started pretty early on. I think the second
Okay.
part of the preparation was essentially like the personal studying for case interviews. So there are Victor Cheng videos, or there are books like Victor Cheng Secrets, or like even Case Interview Cracks. I think the links will be attached in the description, and all of these resources help you essentially understand of what a case interview is, like what is expected out of you and what to do in those interviews. And I think those personal studies and continuously studying different cases, etc., also play a
Mhm.
big role in the case interview preparation. And I think the third and most important part of the entire case interview preparation is essentially like doing mock interviews. So this doing mock interviews is something you do with your case groups, which you form in from your batchmates or other aspirants who are also preparing for consulting. It can also be with your friends or with your seniors or alumni, or even with your buddies, like if you get shortlisted. And all of these
Mhm.
mock interviews, in a sense, play a very major role in preparing you for an actual mock interview experience. So, for instance, for me, before my interviews at BCG and McKinsey, I did around 60 mock interviews properly, just in
Okay.
order to get like a very good idea as to what was expected of me. And that also stopped you from becoming nervous at any point. Let's say if you have like faced a certain kind of failure like 10 times, you
Mhm.
don't really get nervous about it. Or if you know you have a certain weakness in a particular round or in a particular
Mhm.
industry, you try to solve it as much as you can so that in the actual interview your weakness does not show. And I think all of those three things were the major things which helped me in my case preparation, interview preparation.
O- Okay. Very good answer for this. So, like, how to give the feedbacks and what should be things that you should consider while giving the feedbacks?
Right. So I think in terms of like giving and taking feedback, I think two major areas are important. The first is in terms of like the actual matter of the feedback, which is to say that let us
Okay.
say there's a particular case about, let's say, a market entry case, and there are certain technical things which the interviewee did wrong. Let's say they had a mathematical error, or they did not reach the solution, or essentially they did not
Mhm.
really know a lot about the field. So all of these are very technical things which went wrong, and those are one thing which you can learn, let's say, from the case book which you are giving the case from. You can essentially give them recommendations or feedback based on that. So that is the technical part
Okay.
of the feedback. The other is the non-technical part of the feedback, and this is essentially more of a personal thing. So the way I
Okay.
saw it was that, suppose, let's say, a person is solving a case in front of you, and they're unable to
Mhm.
communicate, let's say, all of the steps, or they're unable to reach the solution, or something in their manner is lacking, or something in their
Mhm.
matter is lacking, the way they speak or the way they solve a case, or something is there's a problem in that, right? And that
Mhm.
non-technical part or the soft skills part is also equally important in an interview, or let's say certain
Okay.
mannerisms which they have which are unappealing to an interviewer. So you as an interviewer can give feedback on that as well, so that both of you can try to improve on these things and keep those mistakes on mind.
Okay. Thanks a lot for sharing this practice that you did for the past 3, 4 months for preparing yourself. So now coming to the last section. So what are the different things, or is there any tips and tricks that you have learned over your preparation phase that one should always do less these things to become better at while solving cases while preparing? So would you like to share some tips and tricks for the
Right.
viewers?
Right. So I think there are three major things which I did, which really helped me a lot.
Okay.
The first thing was making a case journal. So a case journal was essentially like writing down, and I think a picture will be attached as to how exactly do you make that journal. But a
Mhm.
case journal, essentially what I did was I wrote about like the name of the case, the place where I did that case from, the kind of case it was, or the industry that case was, and what were the problems which I faced in that case, or what were my mistakes which I was given in the feedback, or which I knew after like personally solving it, right? And I wrote all of these
Okay.
things down in like in a journal, and I kept track of every single case which I had done in that journal. I think when you are revising right before an interview, like let's say 2, 3 days before an interview, that really helps
Mhm.
to keep your mistakes fresh in your mind so that you can try to avoid those mistakes again in the future. And I think that is something which really helped me a lot. The second
Okay.
thing which I did was practice with as many different people as possible. So sometimes, if you're only practicing with, let's say, a case group, you get very comfortable with the kind of people they are, or the kind of feedback which they give you. Which is to say that you do
Mhm.
not really get a very varied feedback, and sometimes your flaws do not get pointed out because even they are not perfect, and they might not see some of your flaws because they might have the similar flaws, or let's say it's just a matter of perspective. So practicing with as
Mhm.
many different people as possible also helped. So like, so for me, in two specific like mock interviews which I did, one person told me that my communication was okay, but my problem solving was problematic, and the second person told me that my communication was problematic, but my problem solving is okay. And then I realized that based on the kind of cases, my approach varied, and that was becoming an issue for me. So that is something which I actively tried to solve. And I think the
Okay.
third and last important thing is to revise old cases. So this is not just in terms of like the problems you had, but also in terms of like the solutions or the recommendations, which either the ones you interviewed in the people gave to you. So for instance, you are an
Mhm.
interviewer in some case, and the people gave some recommendations, and you felt that those were very innovative recommendations. Write them down like somewhere in the case which you are solving, and then revise the solutions like as time passes, so that when these recommendations or these solutions are fresh in your mind, they can also be reapplied to other different cases. And I think that is something which really helped me. So I had like a huge case file where I had like hundreds, like a lot of cases, the ones I'd read plus the ones I'd done in mock interviews. And I think when I
Mhm.
revised all of those, all of like the past solutions were fresh in my mind. So in the last
Okay.
2 days, I did not solve any cases. I just did that.
Mhm.
And the last thing, which is like not really a tip, but it's just something you should keep in mind, that be very
Mhm.
consistent in your practice. So for me, like I
Okay.
did at least 2-3 cases a day for the whole month, and I did not really
Mhm.
leave like a lot of gaps in between. So consistency is
Mhm.
very important just to be in the habit of giving interviews.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, Tiasha, for sharing your roadmap and how you prepare for those. So this was an insightful answer. So thank you so much. And guys, we'll be sharing all those links and things she talk about in the video description. You can actually see to this, and also the journal photograph, like what she prepared, an offline copy that will be also shared with this. So you can actually look at her how she prepared her journal and how she revised all those things. So thank you, Tiasha. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Jalaj.